Well, it looks like Uber is desperate enough that they are actually asking the drivers to help them by signing a friggin' petition. This is Uber 2019, folks. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and Uber. I mean, an amazing thing about Uber is that they are so entitled. You know what Uber kind of reminds me of? They kind of remind me of that girl I knew in high school where I went over one day and she was just sobbing, tears coming down her face. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you know how there are things in life you feel like you are meant for, but people just don't believe. And at this point, you think, oh, she's going to think she wants to be a singer, an actress, or something like that. And she's like, well, I believe that I am not called to work. And my mom just told me that if I wanted a car, I had to get a job. Immediately, all sympathy I ever had for this girl went out the window, and I, remember in that very moment thinking, I can't believe I ever had a crush on this person. Cannot believe I ever had a crush on this person. Because my parents instilled with me a very strong work ethic. Now, some of you might laugh at that because you see me as a guy who sits on YouTube and complains about things. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, that does not bother me because the work that I put into this YouTube channel, it is considerable. And the work I put into eBay and my Amazon seller account, not Shopify so much, that's kind of on hold. I do put a lot of work to make money, and yes, it affords me the ability to complain. And when Uber was working for me, I put in the time, I put in the effort, and that is why my channel is where it is now, because I've worked hard at maintaining it, and I upload. Now, that's not what this is about, but I just wanted to make that point before anyone complained. I lost a lot of respect for that girl that day, and I haven't spoken to her for years. Because the thing is, she clearly came from a well-off family. Her family gave her a lot of things. They had money, obviously. And when it came time to actually work for her money, she didn't want to actually do it. She did not want to do it. And Uber is that spoiled little rich girl right now. Granted, they did create a revolutionary idea. Let's give credit due where credit's due. However, ever since then, they have been that needy little teenage girl who wants to be rich and famous and powerful without putting in any of the work. They started out with certain incentives and payments, and they decided the bigger they got, they were entitled to how should I say this? The rewards of our spoils without paying us. They didn't want to provide the cars. They don't want to pay the insurance. They don't want to pay the health benefits. They don't want to give time off. They don't even want to pay decent rates, but they want to be one of the most powerful and valuable companies in the world. Well, whatever. So California is finally calling their BS on it. Now, New York City has kind of called their BS on that like a while ago and will continue to do so, I believe. However, California is finally set to pass a bill that would make it so that Uber might actually have to put some effort into being a business, in the sense that, hey, you got to take care of your employees. You got to pay them better. You do not get a free lunch anymore. You do not get free money anymore. You have to treat your workers a certain way. And granted, I acknowledge it might not work out in the long run. It might not. It might benefit a few people and not other people. Of course, this is worth talking about still in live chats and all that stuff. However, Uber has never made a compelling argument for why they shouldn't be regulated. They have never made a compelling argument for why things are as bad as the way they are. The only thing they basically say is like, well, it's not going to work for everyone. Yeah. No. I'm giving you the finger here. You can't see it because it's a G-Ray channel, but I'm giving you the finger here. No. You can make this right. You have had the power to make it right all this time. You just refuse to. And what happens after Uber, who treats the lifeblood of their company, the drivers who they spit on, they chew them up and they spit them out, they pee on their graves, they say, we don't care. We say, hey, if you're not happy, it's not going to work for everyone. Whatever. They say, hey, we need your help. Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's look over these screenshots that I was sent by Timothy. And I'm making this video now because technically I did talk about this yesterday during a live stream. In fact, I found out about this during the live stream. And people were very thankful to... actually, multiple people sent me these screenshots, by the way. I'm just using Timothy's because they were the clearest, just to let you know. And that was like a shock. And I told people yesterday, I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to assume that whatever Uber asks you to do, just don't do it. And I ended up being right. So the first thing it says is, fight for driver flexibility in California. Recent changes to California law could threaten your access to flexible work with Uber. Unless the California legislators takes action to modernize the law, you could lose your ability to work with multiple apps and control when and where you choose to drive with Uber. Yeah, that's rich, coming from a company that actually deliberately schemed all these years to make sure you were only using their platform. And they schemed by giving you incentives that basically ensure that you could only use their app. They schemed by spying on your phone and figuring out, which drivers were driving more for Lyft and which ones were driving more for Uber. And by the way, if you drove more for Uber, you were like, okay, you're good. But if you drove more for Lyft, bonuses, incentives, extra pay, all that jazz. Loyal to Uber, you got nothing. Nothing whatsoever. And they also schemed, by the way, when they would create fake Lyft accounts and just consistently call Lyft. In fact, I even remember one day specifically when I was in Sacramento and near Arden Fair Mall, I kept getting a call from a Lyft driver, and they kept canceling. But it came up enough times that I just ended up going to their house because it was like 2 minutes away, and they even called. I accepted. I was at their house. I was there. They canceled again. I walked through the door, knocked on it, and I said, "Hi, I'm your Lyft driver. Why do you keep canceling?" And the lady told me, I don't need a ride. I'm like, why are you calling me then? Because I was hired to call Lyft rides and cancel. That's a side job I have. That's Uber, by the way, because no one else cares. That's what Uber does to drivers. They do not care about you. However, now they need your help. They need you to sign a petition. Because your flexible work hours can be taken away. No, it's not flexible. If you want to do this full time, you don't have flexible hours. You're working 60 hours a week. So anyway, here's what the petition actually looks like. Click next. And by the way, apparently the guy was watching the live stream yesterday. That's why I'm here. So, Matrix. Anyway, here's what it reads. Recent changes to California law could threaten your access to flexible work with Uber. Unless lawmakers take action now to modernize the law, you could lose your ability to work with multiple apps and control when and where you work. We know flexibility is important to you. In all fairness, it is. That's why Uber drivers still like being screwed by this company, because they like it being flexible. And we're working to protect it while also improving the driver experience. Your voice is missing from this conversation, and lawmakers need to hear what's important to you. Oh, really? Lawmakers need to know what's important to us? To the drivers? Hey, Uber. Hello? Hello? McFly. Think, McFly, think. I think you need to know what's important to the drivers before the lawmakers do. You've known all along what would make your drivers happy, which would make them not even want to bring this to Congress. You've known it for years. Chose not to care. You got way too arrogant. Let's finish this. Help us fight for driver flexibility and independence in California. AKA, help us fight to keep paying you slave wages for slave work. Sign the petition urging the California legislator to protect driver flexibility and focus on better ways to improve ride sharing for drivers. You know what? You can improve ride sharing for drivers. You can give them some benefits that they can pay towards, and you can pay them better. And trust me, you will have everyone signing this petition. However, I don't think a lot of people will. Granted, some people will. Some people, because this is where drivers are this is where they are in a rock in a tough spot. Because I've read the comments from yesterday's video. And people always consistently say on this channel, I don't want to be an employee. Which, by the way, I maintain, I don't want to be an employee. We are employees, and other people have come to a realization that I don't want to be an employee, but I don't want to be treated like one. And they feel there should be something that balances them out. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. If this bill passes, I bet you there is still a way that Uber can keep independent contractors working for the platform. They just might need to change some things. Like, the independent contractor status should really be enforced. Like, the way it is right now, it's not. Because I listed the many things yesterday, but we'll just go over them again. Because what makes you a true independent contractor? Well, you can get on and off whenever you want. Okay? That's a point in their favor. Another thing, you have to be able to negotiate your wages. Well, that's not in your favor. Let's see here. You need to know all the information about the job before you accept it. Not in your favor. You need to know how much money you're going to make before you do a job. Nope. Not even close. I mean, and I can keep going. But you see where I'm getting at here? I'm actually hoping, if this bill becomes law, I'm hoping what happens ultimately is that Uber is forced to truly treat us like independent contractors. And by the way, that does ironically mean letting us manipulate the surge, because while I don't encourage surge manipulation, the fact that Uber and Lyft is actually saying, oh no, you can't do that, you can't log off during certain times, it's like, no, we're allowed to log off whenever we want. So you see, you're still treating us like an employee. So, yeah. But the bottom line is this. Uber, after treating the drivers like scum, after not listening to their concerns, after pretending we frankly don't exist, by saying we've listened to drivers all these years, so you know what we're going to do for you? We're going to make a new app that works better. Oh yeah, clearly you were listening, Uber, because that's what we were asking for. And before anyone says, well, what's wrong with the new app? Nothing's wrong with the new app. The new app is fine. It's just that that's not what we were asking for. It wasn't even one of our top 5 concerns, to be honest. So now they have the gall to ask for our help. I say don't help them. I mean, some of you might feel passionate about this, and you know what? If you do feel passionate about it, then sign a petition. Although, here's the other really funny thing about this, and anyone will tell you this. Petitions do not work. They really do not work. I mean, you know, and I hate to say that because I have friends who have petitions up right now who are trying to enact change, and so they go on change.org and they start a petition. And look, I have even supported petitions because, like, hey, it's a nice gesture. Ultimately, they really aren't that effective. You know it's effective? Getting out there and complaining, writing actual letters, or if you do want to do a petition, actually head towards on the streets and get real signatures. Those petitions actually get people's attention because you actually had to go and get them. When you do it on change.org, or however they're doing it, I bet you it's change.org, you are doing it electronically, and it's hard to account for those people. So, but anyway, that's just me. Petitions typically don't work, so you can tell that Uber is scared and they are flailing. They are swinging as wildly as they can, hoping something lands. So, you know what, Uber? Tough. I am really going to look forward to documenting your downfall, to discussing how royally you screwed yourselves, as I have been doing for the last couple of years. However, we're going to leave that there. I think I've ranted long enough. What do you folks think? Are you going to sign this? Are you not going to sign this? I'd love to know. So, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way, helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting you a little down, check out the GetUp app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me that's a little different from what we normally do here, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. We've got over 200 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, if hope possible. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare people, in fact, if you want to discuss this very topic, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.